Welcome to the Bite Me Podcast, episode 76. Hi, I'm Adam West.
Hi, I'm Cliff Johnson.
Hello, I am Adam West.
Oh, man. Are we doing that again? Is that really a thing again?
For today.
It doesn't have to be.
No, I'm the Dylan.
I'm the Dylan.
Don't be so sad about that. The Dylan's very
We
well
like
liked.
the Dylan.
He's all right.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, what's going on? What's up? How are we doing?
I don't know. Usually I try and do something there, then you yell at me and say, I'm going to read the news now.
Oh, you're right. Okay, let's do this. On today's show, let's talk about the Oculus. What?
The pre-cap.
Ooh,
Oh.
Ooh, did I just coin a new word?
I think you might have.
Is that the prologue?
Kind of, but it's the pre-cap.
Okay. In news today, we're going to speak about the Oculus Go. It has launched kind of out of nowhere. Didn't expect that today.
Yeah.
Stardew Valley Beta has launched on Steam with Coop co-op.
Co-op really needs to be different.
What do you mean?
Like, the fact that co-op is spelled C-O-O-P.
Well, is it C-O-O-P
Yeah,
usually,
that's how it's
right?
supposed to be.
I
That's
think
how
I think it's allowed either way, though.
Yeah.
Meh. That needs a dash in there. But anyway, so co-op is available in the Stardew Valley Beta on Steam. The Comet has hit in Fortnite. We'll talk about that. Destiny soundtrack music of the Spheres is coming soon. What is that?
We'll talk about it soon.
Okay. And the Atari Box is back, but not for another year.
Nah, doesn't matter.
It was announced a year ago.
Yeah.
Stuff and things, and then it's not going to be around for at least another year. Anyway, plus questions from Vinny, Joe Coleslaw, Zach, Paul, Hans, and a slew of cheap free games. Like far more cheap free games this week than we even have news to talk about.
I will. There's no reason to buy a game in all of May.
Or late.
Or maybe the rest of the year. Wait until you can start playing now and play until Red
I'm
Dead.
going to buy one game in May.
Yeah.
You what?
I'm going to buy one game.
Which one?
In May. Detroit Become Human.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. But first, we start with what you're playing. Dylan, you go.
I played some Mega Man 2 at the convention. It was great.
The convention.
Was that all you've played?
Yeah, basically.
Wow.
He's been learning magic tricks, though.
I did. I played
yeah.
a lot of magic tricks.
You taught us a couple.
I taught a couple magic tricks. I'm doing magic lessons now.
You let us look behind the curtain.
You can email me for one-on-one sessions.
magictricks.net.
I'm the Magic Dylan at themagicdylan.com. That's not real.
That is not real.
No
Do
one
not send
steal
email
that
there.
domain because that's mine.
I'll go buy it for you right now.
I dibsed it right now.
Not in much.
I don't think that's how it works.
You must respect a dibs. It is the most respectful thing on this planet. Yeah, I haven't really played. I've drawn a lot more still. So I'm playing the drawing on the iPads.
Okay.
That's really all I got.
And
the
how do you
Magic
rate
Dylan is available. It can be yours for $9.88.
I painted a pineapple.
How do
it's a very nice
how do you rate
pineapple.
the gameplay? How do you rate the graphics?
On what?
Your painting, your drawing.
Oh, it's great. I did a wet acrylic painting of a pineapple. It's pretty
very nice.
great.
Well, congratulate.
Dylan, because he's got some skills.
Achievement unlocked. Platinum achievement.
It's
Ooh.
it's next level.
It's something.
It is something.
It makes me want to go get an iPad and learn how to draw because I cannot draw.
I want an iPad so bad. I want that, and I want an iPad pencil, and I just want to spend. I want to turn my video game time into drawing time too.
I'm also doing one-on-one drawing sessions. You can email me at thedrawingdylan@thedrawingdylan.com.
I asked Dylan to draw me a picture of a squirrel wearing a rainbow clown wig, and he did, and he emailed it to me, and it's amazing.
It's real cool.
It's real good. Yeah,
I would tattoo that on my body. It's so cool.
You should.
Well, okay. Let's refine it and make it a little
pay
edgier.
for 25% of that
a little
tattoo.
edgier.
A little edgier.
You want an edgier squirrel with an edgier rainbow clown wig?
Yeah, I need some piercings.
So
Okay.
I
Some
will tell you
tattoos.
though that squirrel is the squirrel from the Blood Orgy episode of South Park.
Oh,
so
yeah.
The one that Critters Christmas.
that squirrel's pretty edgy.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
pretty. He's nuts.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to say.
I see what you did.
Mhm.
Cool.
Anyway, what did you play? Adam?
So since we're both playing two of the same thing-ish,
Oh, yeah, we can just
I'll
talk.
start with what I just picked up on the Switch last night, Celeste. IGN gave it a 10. It's earned all kinds of accolades basically across the board. It's very Super Meat Boy-ish,
Yeah.
but it tells a story basically dealing with, I think, depression and anxiety.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting so far. I'm just through the first, second area, so I'm in the third area. It's fun.
From what I understand too, is it is Super Meat Boy esque, but it's not as like gruelingly hard as Super Meat
No.
Boy. But that there are optional, kind of like Super Mario Run. Actually, like to just run through Super Mario Run was not obscenely difficult, but to get all the purples or blacks
Right.
or whatever they are is way more challenging. And so this you're collecting strawberries, correct?
Yeah, so you can collect strawberries, and the game tells you that collecting these strawberries
Does
it's
nothing.
nothing.
Yeah.
It does nothing. It's strictly bragging rights. And yeah, they've got what's called assist mode, and you can do that. And
Oh, that's right, yeah.
when you go into assist mode or when you select it, it takes you through a couple of screens saying, "Hey, we understand that, this might be more difficult for some people to play, and we want everybody to enjoy it. Just, we recommend at least giving it a shot in normal mode. But if you think it's too difficult or you're just not enjoying it, turn the
that's
assist
really
mode
cool.
on. We'll help you out, and you'll still get, it.
Yeah,
So-
I'm very excited. It's been a game that's kind of been on my radar for a little while. I just haven't had a chance to jump on it because I've got so many other things on my radar as well.
Right. I'm glad I did because when people say that it was like Super Meat Boy, I like Super Meat Boy just fine, but I know that game is just very much
grueling.
run, jump, splat. You've got to time all this stuff so perfectly. And there's a lot of those elements in
Yeah.
this game, but it's not so difficult.
That's cool.
Like I got it. Like I've finally, not finally, like within a few,
Yeah.
tries. I mean, I've only died like 132 times, but I've picked up some of the different moves and paid more attention to the stuff.
I'm excited.
Kind of like Dylan's paying attention to the camera. If you're on Twitch, I'm really sorry. He's looking into your soul right now.
Trying to
But
make eye
other
contact
than
with Adam, and he's not looking
that's
at
fine.
me.
Other than that, we are both playing the same things. You finished it. I'm still working on it. Far Cry 5.
Yes, yeah. So I'm done. I 100%ed it.
Did you 100% everything?
Yes.
You got.
So I've 100%ed all of the so not everything. I've 100%ed all of the game, like core gameplay. I've defeated the 3 bosses. I defeated 100% of all their regions.
Wow.
And then I obviously beat the end guy. And I kind of thought that was going to be it for me. And then I went back in and started working on some of the achievements. So I don't think I'm in 100% of the achievements because there's
some ridiculous
well,
stuff.
there's like 6 or 7 of them that are multiplayer only, and I
Wow.
can't imagine I'm going to go in and do a lot of the Far Cry arcade stuff. But I did get the achievement you get for killing like all the animals and all the fish.
You've killed all the
Sounds
animals?
terrible.
All the
Kind
animals are
of.
gone?
Yeah, and so you have to
Like,
one
wow.
of each of them or 3 of each of them. You know how when you go into there's like a thing that keeps track of what you've killed and
Yeah,
what
yeah.
got those. And so I've killed 3 of the deers and 1 of the fish, and I got all those.
Wow.
So it's like a 2.5% achievement.
Did you collect all the lighters?
Yes.
Wow.
So I got all the lighters.
That seems like a difficult one.
And I actually really want to do like a spoiler cast on Far Cry
Right.
because there's a lot of things to unwind about that game. But yeah, no, well, and that's
Including
not
the end.
the ending is Anyway, that's not the lighter one. There's a lighter one and a comic book one and a vinyl record one and a bobblehead one. So there's a lot of collectathon in that, which I did not find terribly enjoyable.
Well,
But I still found all of them.
Right, and now
so.
the DLC, like you told me the DLC is not story-based, and it's not really story-based, but it all
Based off the characters,
It all
yeah.
happens kind of in the same Far Cry 5 verse.
Yeah, so one's a trip back to Vietnam with one of the Vietnam vets from the guy. It might be the lighter guy, actually.
Oh, that would make sense.
And then the other one's a trip to Mars with Herc, I want to say. Or
Okay.
no, I'm sorry. It's the, have you found the movie producer guy?
No.
It's him.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a guy actually making a movie in the Far Cry place. And
Okay.
Like an unauthorized movie that he's filming, and there's a mission where he has you get a bunch of the what are they called, the slave zombie people in Faith's area, anyway, pulls them in and has you kill them in specific ways so he can film his zombie movie. So yeah,
That's fun.
yeah, so I beat it. I'm kind of looking at some of the achievements. I don't know if I actually had to, because I'd killed everyone, there was a bunch of achievements I couldn't do. So you can actually go into the menu and say, unlock all the outposts again. So I unlocked all the outposts so I could start doing some of the, I needed to kill 20 people with a flamethrower, and I needed to kill another person with a Molotov cocktail, and I needed to kill, I need to kill 3 or 4 more people from 150 yards away with a sniper rifle, that kind of thing. So,
Gotcha.
I don't know if I'll do all of it, but I'm having fun with it.
Yeah,
So.
I need to finish it. I've got, what's the word?
Sidetracked by God
there's
of
the
War.
word. Yeah. I'm like, I got things. Yeah, so we're also playing God of War,
Yeah,
which I love.
which I'm
Man,
meh about.
you just have bad taste.
The
I'm
problem
kidding.
is God of War for me. God of War for me has the same problems a lot of PlayStation games do for me. PlayStation exclusive games is that this game's great. This game deserves all the accolades it's gotten. It's got an incredible story.
Accolades, too.
No, it only has accolades. It's real weird.
8 of them.
9. Anyway, it looks amazing. The story is, I mean, I'm only maybe an hour and a half into it, but the story's great.
The story is phenomenal.
Kratos is kind of a dick. But like we said, he's supposed to be. I don't know if I can listen to him. Boy, get over here. I'm
and the memes that are
grumpy."
popping up, the memes that are popping up with that and the memes that are popping up from Avengers Infinity War are my 2 favorite things on the internet right now.
They're funny. But the problem I have with the game is that I'm going to say maybe an hour into the game, maybe you fight that guy.
Oh, if you're that far into
maybe
it,
45 minutes in the game. You kind of do some stuff and then you come back to your house and there's
the stranger.
Guy there and you start fighting him and you're doing the, chop, 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 throw an axe at him, whatever, taking his health down. And then you get to a point where it just kind of goes to a cutscene, but the cutscene's in engine. And so I feel like I'm like, chop, chop, throw. And then all of a sudden he like rips a tree out of the ground and rams him with it and hits him in like a baseball bat. But I'm not controlling any of that. And it feels real dumb to me. And then it's like, he's like, you can't hurt me. I'm invincible. I don't even feel pain. And his health bar fills back up. And I'm like, oh, cool. Chop, chop, throw my thing. Hey, pull my axe back. Whoop, whoop. And then eventually you get him almost dead again. He's like, oh, my God. And I like take a giant mountain and drop a mountain on him. And he's like, oh, he's finally dead. And then he like pushes the mountain off. And I didn't control any of that part. And then I'm like, chop, chop, throw my sticks, chop, chop, dance around a little bit. And then go to another cutscene where we're wrestling. And then finally at the very end, it's like, hey, hit these 2 buttons and you break his neck. And like, it's whatever. It's 45 minutes in the game. It doesn't matter. It's really cool and it looks amazing and whatever. But it's really a bummer to me that the super cool, amazing parts of that game, I'm not even doing anything. Like I don't want those to be QuickTime events. Let me very specifically say I don't want to have to hit B to make that happen.
Used to be.
They probably used to be.
Like that's the biggest departure in this game.
Yeah.
Is that while you don't have QuickTime events like the original God of War, because that was a very that was an of the time kind of thing. Like QuickTime events were the thing, and they basically kind of really came into their own with the original God of War.
Yep.
I think this is their way of keeping parts of the ideas of a QuickTime event, but not making it a QuickTime event.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like an interactive cutscene more than anything.
Except that it's not interactive. It's really more just like a cutscene that it didn't cut to a movie to show.
Yeah.
And to me, every time they happen, it just takes me out of like, I'm like, oh, I can just sit on my controller for the next 30 seconds and like things will just happen.
And see, for me, it's the opposite because I never knew when those moments were necessarily coming.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay, I don't have to do anything here. But as soon as
they're going to release it back to you,
they were going to release it back to you, but there's no real tell on when it was given back to you.
But it almost
so
doesn't matter. I mean, at least in the like I said, this is kind of where I got to, and I just like, nah. It kind of released you, and then it pulls back apart, and you're 40 feet away from this dude again, and he's dancing around again. So. I mean, literally, I think I could have I didn't put my controller down, but I could have.
I would not. If I'd have put my controller down, I was, that fight was so intense for me.
Yeah.
Do you have it on like balanced or easy or what?
I don't remember. Probably easy.
Oh, okay. Because I've got it on balanced, and there was a whole lot more going on, it felt like to me.
Yeah, but I mean, and there is during the scenes where you're actually fighting, the fighting's great. The fighting feels amazing, and the like blocking and the dodging, like the fighting's great. And I think that's my point is I want more of that. My point, I guess, is that there are other games that I've played where things feel amazing and epic and really cool, but that I actually did them, as opposed to this where the fighting feels good and the fighting feels fun, but the fighting feels kind of grindy so that I can get something else to happen. Like I feel like I'm doing some fighting so that something will happen that I'm not going to have control over. And that just, but I mean, and to me, it goes even deeper than that, though. It's not just the fighting. It's hey, I'm walking on a ledge. All right, I can't. My character can't jump. Like Kratos, he's a big hulking man. He can't jump. There's no jump button. And so what happens when you get up to a ledge or you get up to a something you've got to jump across?
I don't think.
It's like, oh, hit the circle button. And that's not making him jump. That's just triggering a jump animation that I don't have any control over. So it's like, walk up to the edge, hit the button. Okay, we're jumping now. And then we're landing. Now you're back in the game. And it's to me, it's this weird disconnect between me controlling something and me not controlling something that I don't like.
Okay.
So I'm gonna keep playing. Like, I mean,
yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah, and it's an amazing game. It's gorgeous. The story's great. The voice acting is incredible. Every time he does that, like, boy, you're not ready. I'm like, oh, but Daddy, I am. And
I'm so ready.
You know, I love the kid. I love whoever voiced the kid is great. I love how he's kind of. Like, even though he's an 11-year-old kid and his dad is this hulking god killer, he's kind of a smart aleck. And
because it's a very real relationship between a father and a son.
It's just, I wish the gameplay was different. I don't want to say better because it's not objectively bad. For me, I want it to be different.
Right. So my thoughts on it are, as far as you are concerned,
you're wrong.
No, not at all. I mean, not completely. Had you been a fan of the franchise from day one, I think you might have a different opinion of it. But also, I think it's just that type of game is not your type of game. It's just not like the button mashy, arcadey fighting kind of stuff. It's not necessarily your thing.
See, the thing is, though, is like I love The Division. I love.
Yeah, but that's nothing like God of War.
No, but to me, The Division
and
like Destiny aren't button mashy. They're very like, I'm doing things very purposefully to make things happen. I'm doing cool super jumps so I can get up on someone to make a cool thing happen.
Right.
And I don't have the opportunity for that in this game.
Right, because it's a different kind of game. This is a way more cinematic.
I guess. I don't think I've ever played another game like it either, really.
I don't think I have either, and that's one of the reasons I love it.
Does it remind you a little bit of Uncharted 4, though? Have you played Uncharted 4?
I've not played Uncharted 4.
So Uncharted 4 felt kind of the same way to me, where there were a lot of cutscenes.
Action,
nothing.
Big cinematic sequence.
Yeah.
Action.
But also that same kind
sequence.
of like, where I didn't feel like I was, when I was doing a jump, I didn't feel like I was actually performing that jump. I was like hitting a button that triggered a jump animation.
Except Uncharted has a lot of platforming kind of stuff in it, though, so you have a lot
more control over
more
it.
mobility in the game.
There's just something about it that. Please continue. I'm sorry.
So I love it.
Yeah.
Mainly
you should too.
Yeah,
God,
mainly because I've been a
amazing.
fan of the games since day one. I've played all of them except Ascension. I played it. I just never finished that one. Yeah. It's just knowing where Kratos started, where he comes from, and who he is now is probably the best evolution of any video game character I've seen.
Yeah. It's a cool journey.
Yeah.
I mean, even having not played that, the journey seems cool.
Yeah. It's really well done. And the farther you get into the game, the more like softer side of Kratos you actually kind of see. Like I just finished releasing the light back into the realm and the blah blah blah. And at one point Atreus is it Atreus? Yeah, he's hearing voices for whatever reason, whatever they might be. I don't know yet. But like there's a scene on a boat between him and Kratos, and however they animated him or the motion capture, whatever for Kratos, whoever did that was brilliant because the actual emotion you see on this giant hulking god's face with his son, like for genuine concern, it's unlike anything I've ever seen.
How far do you think you are into the game?
I'm probably 4 hours into it, 4 or 5 hours. And yeah, it's great. The fighting is super awesome. I'm still learning the blocking and the combos and the dodging and whatever, because it's tricky.
Every single time I throw the axe, though, I love it.
Oh, I love that.
God.
And the noise that it makes, and I like that the farther away you get from it, wherever you may have left it, the longer it takes to get back to you.
God, that's one thing I will say is the combat when you're fighting feels so good. Like you feel every single one of those axe hits. It's really neat.
And there's a weapon that comes up in the game at a certain point that makes me very, very excited, but I'm not going to talk about it.
Nice. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to keep playing. I want to like it. I really want to like it. So
go there for the story.
Yeah.
And then stay there for the action.
Yeah.
Because the story is front and center, for sure. I mean, it's hard saying it's front and center because the action to me is so good.
But the story's so good.
Done,
even the story
done.
so far has been very touching and very, it's good.
So there's that.
My one
God of
question is
War.
like, how does the combat compare to how it used to be? Because it is more.
It's-
the camera is shifted down, so like, how does that affect the way the game feels?
It's interesting because at least from what I can tell, a lot of the action is still very much God of War. It's still quick and it's still combo-y. And it's still very over the top, and you have to really think about the movements you're going to make because of what's going on around you. The only thing that's really different is the view, because it's, third person over the shoulder,
Right.
and you get these audio cues from the kid, or you get these visual cues on the screen where you've got like a yellow arrow pointing somewhere behind you. That means there's an enemy behind you. Red means that something's going to happen,
Attack you,
and
yeah.
like a purple arrow means you need to get out of the way. Something's coming your way.
Yeah.
So that's really the only kind of bit of difference that I can tell, at least in the combat.
I like
There's
being able to
still-
use your kid as a support character too.
Yeah. And then there's that. You can use him to stun enemies, and he jumps on enemies and chokes them out with his bow. And while
Yeah.
you take him down, it's real cool.
Kid's tough. He's not ready
Yeah.
yet, but he's tough.
He's not ready.
Yeah, no, you're not ready, boy. Anyway, so yeah, I love it. If
You don't
haven't
have
gotten
a
it yet,
beard.
you got
I'm
a
super glad
PlayStation,
that you're
do
enjoying
it.
it. Like,
Oh
that's,
my God.
I know you were looking. I mean, anyone that's listening to this podcast knows that
I love Kratos.
Adam loves the Gods of War,
And I'm kind of
so-
taking my time with it. I don't want to blow through it all just because there's people that are like, I just finished that game in 2.5 days. Well, good for you. Show off for one. But I don't want to blow through it just because I'm taking my time. I'm finding the areas. I'm figuring out how to get to these chests until I'm like, there's obviously no way I can get to it. I'm burning every possibility that I can while I play this game because I love it so much.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, so there's that. All right, that's what we're playing. Before we get to the next area of news, remember if you're on iTunes, like us, rate us, review us, do that. And also watch us on Twitch so you can see Dylan making sweet, sweet love to the camera
Ooh.
with his eyes. With his eyes, just letting you know that. But yeah, so make sure you like us, you rate us, review us, you subscribe or follow us on Twitch as well. Leave us a review. We'll read it on the air, kind of like that Trollerson did last week.
Godzilla.
It's the worst thing ever.
Everything about it's terrible.
Yeah,
That's okay.
whatever. It's fine. You still listened, didn't you? But yeah, and also
I hope so. I hope
Right.
he just listens to every single
Right.
episode.
Since you're the only one who's given us a nasty, we're going to talk about you every episode. We'll make you famous. You'll be so famous, you'll be infamous.
We can make Godzilla 18 shirts.
Infamous.
God, we should. That'd be
I forget.
amazing.
What's the line from the Cobby Three Amigos?
Oh, I haven't
He's
seen
so
that movie
famous,
in a
he's
long-
infamous.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that
Anyway,
movie in a long
You have their
time.
quote on the back, Godzilla 18 on the front.
That'd be amazing.
Great.
And also remember, we are an official Humble Bundle partner. Go to bitemepodcast.com/humble, and you can see all the latest and greatest deals on the Humble Bundle. There's lots of good stuff. In fact, we're going to be talking about one of them later on.
We are.
What? I can go higher. Up next, though, we talk about...
News!
I thought you were going to go news.
No.
Okay.
No. No.
It's...
No.
Oh. It's news.
No.
Okay. So let's get into it, since Dylan's obviously broken. The Oculus Go, Oculus Rift's new $200 standalone VR headset is out now, and it doesn't require a phone.
It does not. Yeah, it's cool. It's so it's kind of like a mix, I guess, between a Rift and
like a Samsung
Google
VR?
Daydream or a
Yeah.
Samsung VR, where it's got the screen inside of it. They have either 32 gigs or 64 gig internal memory. $200, $250, depending on how much space you get in it. And you get the headset, and you get like a little controller. I don't know. A lot of the Samsung-y, the Google ones have that
Yeah.
same controller.
It's similar. It's like a perfect mix between the like Google Daydream
Yeah.
controller and the Oculus Rift controller.
Yeah, and you get a lens cloth, a bunch of other crap, but it's just 100% rechargeable, and it sits on your face, and it's got a pretty decent resolution. It's a 1440 screen.
So it's that middle sweet spot.
Yeah, kind of, and
More than the PSVR.
it is probably better than the PSVR,
It's 10,
but it's
because
probably
PSVR
not
is 1080 split in two.
it's probably not as powerful as
No.
the PSVR though.
It's
so
about, from what I remember reading, it's about as powerful as a solid mid-range Android phone.
Yeah.
Which for stuff that's that's fine.
Yeah, and
Because I've used because I had the Google Cardboard, and I've had a couple of the random, hey, go VR with your phone
Yeah.
and this thing for $12, and they work pretty well on even a mid-range Android device some of the VR and AR stuff. So I can't imagine that if it's dedicated and optimized, it's going to run just fine.
Yeah, I've played it at PAX. Not this, but ones, the phone ones at PAX. And they're really fun. There's some really cool, immersive, cool games. And I think because it is kind of in that Android development environment, there are a lot of opportunities for Android developers to port their stuff over to it. They're saying at launch that it will support, I think, 1,000 games.
What?
No, maybe that's
a lot.
Sorry, that I think is actually the Atari thing we're going to talk about later.
Spoilers.
Yeah, sorry. But there are definitely going to be games for it. I'm sure it'll run all of the games that you play on Daydream, all that stuff. So I think what I like about this is that it's an entry point to VR.
Right.
It's that headset you're going to buy because it's only $200. And you're going to be able to show it to your friends, and we get just more. To me, VR is such a cool thing, and I want it to be successful. That I like anything that pulls people into that VR ecosystem.
Right.
So,
and from everything that I've read, it's getting pretty solid reviews. It's very accessible. It's financially in that sweet spot. The battery life, while it's not fantastic,
battery life's kind of terrible.
Hour and a half to 2 hours for gaming, 2 to 2.5 for movie watching. So I mean. I think it's not bad.
It's not terrible.
Considering that this is an all-inclusive thing, it's all, it's just a standalone device.
Yeah.
Everything is there. Its processor, its view, everything is all, or its screen, it's all one thing.
I think mostly that's just disappointing. Not because I think necessarily people are going to play for an hour and a half or 2 hours and actually drain the battery, but it does take that kind of, oh, hey, I'm going to check this out, and then I'm going to give it to my friend to check it out. And it means that pretty much every time you're done with it, you're going to have to put it on a charger.
Unless you want to sit next to an outlet and just keep it plugged in.
I do kind of wonder if you can plug it in and play it, though.
I'm sure you could.
Maybe, not necessarily. I would wonder. To me, though, that's a big point. I wish I knew the answer to that because I think that's important.
And you don't, Dylan, you don't have a VR of any kind. Is this something you think you would pick up?
Kind of. So what? I mean, is this a silly question? But what can you play on this? That's what I think. One of the biggest things that confuses me about VR is where, if you have the Samsung VR, what games are those? Where are you getting those games from?
So it's got its own...
Obviously, I've noticed, you can get VR games in the Steam store, and a PSVR, that's self-explanatory, but there's these other...
Yeah.
What games, what experiences are those?
So according to the article from IGN, it's going to be launching, you were right, Cliff, it's going to launch with over 1,000 available games and apps, including Jurassic World, Blue, and Republic. And it's going to feature cross-play support with the Rift and Gear VR. For Catan VR and a few others unspecified games.
Yeah, so my guess is it'll probably play low-spec Oculus Rift games, and it'll probably play all of the, kind of Android-y...
Right. So, I mean,
now, is this based?
Cool.
Is this based off of an Android?
I don't know,
OS?
but my guess is that.
I mean, I can't imagine it's not.
Not, yeah.
I mean, the big question is, can I play Keep Talking and No One
Explodes?
I think that's the kicker.
My guess would be yes, but
that one's a pretty low.
Yeah,
or I want to play that one game we played at PAX, the Ship It game, where you put the Tetris blocks in the tubs.
Although probably not though, because when you think about it, both those games use the Oculus Touch controllers. You have to have two controllers.
Right.
This only has one, so probably not actually.
Do you need two?
Yeah,
well,
because you
use
both hands. And it doesn't allow for any movement, so it's only head tracking. There's
no actual
body
in-room tracking. Or body tracking. Yeah.
So. Probably not that.
Yeah. And see, those are the experiences I'm really drawn to, is that interactivity. So maybe this isn't for me, but I mean, I like the idea of...
I just like VR so much. I want VR to be a thing. I mean, not only because I have a really expensive headset that's kind of worthless without it.
I'm not going to lie. I love my PSVR, but I have touched it maybe 3 times in the last year.
I think that's the problem, though, is it's just not as convenient as you want it to be.
Yeah. It works great.
Yeah.
But
my kid plays mine a lot, so at least I'm getting a lot of use out of it. I mean, he actually was the one that bought it, so good thing he uses it a lot.
Your kid bought it?
Yeah, he saved up his money and bought it.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
all right, that is your Oculus Go news. It's going to launch on May 30th for Oculus Venues is the
that's the thing that'll actually
for
let you
live concerts and movies and games and stuff. That's launching on May 30th, and the actual
I think
Oculus
you can actually
Go,
buy it today.
I'm pretty sure is out now.
Starting today.
All right, so get out there and buy it if you would like a VR of some sort.
Do it.
All right, up next, Stardew Valley Beta is now on Steam, and it features co-op.
Yeah, so this is the update
that everybody's been talking about.
Everybody's been waiting for. So if you have this game, Steam specifically, this is not.
I do.
It will all come out for the Xbox and the Switch and all that eventually. But if you have it on Steam, according to I'm not sure if this is a IGN specific thing. I don't believe so. But if you go to your Steam library and you can like right click on the property of a game and you can change the property to the betas, and if you put in the access code Jumping Junimos, JUMPING JUNIMOS.
Oh my.
Then you'll be able to get on the beta branch. So this is up to 4-player farming. You can one person hosts, and then you build friend cabins for your friends.
Nice.
I believe you can actually you can get married in the game to someone who you are co-playing with, apparently, and divorce them. So, and I think if you're married, you can actually live in the same cabin. So,
Wow.
I
How
know,
very
right?
not 1950s of them.
Exactly right. You have to have separate beds, but
that's
maybe you can
okay.
push them together every once in a while.
That's fine.
I bought this game, I don't know when it came out, a year and a half ago.
Oh, yeah.
I bought 2 copies of this game and have never played it because this is the update I've been waiting for. I want to play
Is
this.
multiplayer that... See, I don't know. Like, I'm just not a multiplayer guy.
And I think
per
the thing
se?
is I'm sure I could have played this game single player and really, really enjoyed myself, but I think
yeah.
I'll really enjoy myself playing it multiplayer. It reminds me a lot of, I don't know, I've played a lot of those kind of multiplayer crafting games. I put a ton of time into Terraria and really enjoyed that. I think it just, well, I mean, like the game's a little, I don't want to say the game moves slowly because the game moves at its own pace and that is what it is. But with twice the people to do it, like you could clear off a huge farm and, you know,
Yeah, no kidding.
do some cool stuff. So I'm very, very, very excited about the multiplayer version of this.
Yeah, I think it's fun to have like a game that's so focused on like having a community and to actually have like a real community as part of that game instead of
all these NPC like villagers.
a whole NPC life that's happening. So
I mean,
it's-
I would argue that there's probably a world where like Stardew Valley, the massively multiplayer online game, could be great.
I'm sure it could.
A
This
bunch of
might be
people
just a step in that direction.
You know what I mean? A bunch of people with their own farms, and you've got an economy. You're selling things at a marketplace. You know,
Right.
people could either be farmers, or they could be vendors,
Right.
or they could be
this
like.
person can build things, like
Yeah.
has like the authority to build things, and like
You
this
know.
person can cut down trees, like he's allowed
Yeah.
to clear cut the forest, like this person's allowed to do. Like everyone has.
I mean,
their
maybe that would
own-
get super lame
I don't
after a
know,
while, but the idea of it's very intriguing
Yeah.
to me. So I don't know. This dude lives in Seattle. We'll go hunt him down and find out.
Yeah, for sure. And then it's not just multiplayer stuff that's coming, and you got some new single player content coming too. Horse Hats, the Winter Market Festival, more collectibles, more cutscenes, and more undiscovered features.
I think horse hats really are probably the most important part of this update.
I know. You're waiting for multiplayer. I'm waiting for horse
Horse
hats.
hats. Yeah, I'm probably still gonna wait until this gets out of beta to play, but it should be soon. So
Just a real quick update. My brother, by the way, messaged me on Facebook. He's still playing Zelda Breath of the Wild.
nice.
But I think that's the only game he's actually played all year. He only has 37 Korok seeds left to find.
Wow.
Yeah, and he currently is the proud owner of 210,805 rupees.
Dang.
Yeah, he's loaded. So
How many are there? Like 900 and something?
there's 900,
Wow.
and he's 37 away.
That's amazing and
Yeah, there's
sad
that.
all at the same
I know,
time.
and he's playing on the Wii U, and he bought the DLC. The only thing he's not done is the Master Trials. He's done absolutely
I
everything
can't
else in the
decide
game.
if I like, cause I own it and I've not played a ton of it. I rebought it when it was on sale a couple months ago, and I'm kind of tempted to buy the DLC just so I can have the cool motorcycle because I think it'll make the game.
But I think you have to finish the game to get that.
I don't think so.
You have to finish something to get that. There's something
Maybe.
you have to do to get that. All right, up next, the Fortnite Comet has landed. And what did it do?
It did not destroy Tilted Towers.
No.
Are we sad that it didn't?
Did it do the completely obvious thing that I think most people overlooked?
It
What's that?
destroyed Dusty Depot. Is that obvious?
No, it did start season 4.
Oh, it did also start season 4.
Yeah.
Like everyone's like, oh, what's this comment? It's like, it's obviously the start of the next season.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I heard anyone say that, but that's
It
obvious.
sure is.
Hindsight, like that was the obvious thing that it was going to do.
Yeah.
And it did.
So it slammed into Dusty Depot, and now there's a giant crater there, and they are filled with hop rocks, which let you have less gravity.
Is that literally all it was?
Well, I mean, and it started season 4, so yeah, it's.
So does this mean you're going to hop back into it?
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe a little bit.
Okay.
You were so into season 3. You finished season 3, right?
Yeah, I
You
did.
got all
I
your
got all
stuff.
the battle pass stuff, but the problem is like if no one else is going to play with me,
No, sure.
I don't like it. Only has so much. Like it is super fun to play with people. I mean, similar to PUBG, like super fun to play with people. By yourself, it has a limited shelf life.
That's fair.
Because
Where did all
isn't-
your Fortnite friends go?
I don't know.
They just
Like,
disappeared.
Bunch of scrubs, I guess.
Oof.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just I guess getting people on at the right time.
Yeah.
And there's so many games to play. It's so hard.
It's really hard.
It kind of blows my mind that some people have those like communities that they just constantly play with the same people. And because I notice people jumping around games too much. Like it can only. Like you pick one game and you got to play it, kind of. So
I think it's honestly the difference between. I think there are a handful of different kinds of gamers, and I think that there are literally the people that just buy a game a year or 2 games a year, and that Call of Duty and something else, and they just play Call of Duty, until the next year, or they play Fortnite, and that's all they play. And I think then there are a lot of other gamers like us, and a lot of the people we play with that. Or just always going to the new shiny thing,
Right.
I want to be involved in the conversation around X, and so I want to play it. And I think that we kind of play kind of a weird part where we're always chasing the new shiny, but we're also like, oh, but there's also this giant backlog I have behind me, which probably isn't super uncommon either. So, but yeah, it's hard. Well, I mean, man, with the amount of online only games right now, and more just coming out all the time, it's hard. It's really hard to find those friends.
Yeah, I need to check out Fortnite again just because now that I played it on my phone a bit more.
As funny and weird as that is.
As funny and weird as it is, like I feel like I understand it more.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I think when I tried Fortnite out, I was still just so not hardcore into PUBG, but like that was my go-to for the Battle Royale stuff.
Right, it was hot. It was fresh. Like, it's a fun experience.
And it was buggy AF, but
Still is.
But that's where I went. And it was a far more like realistic, quote unquote, kind of shooter. So
I get it.
Yeah.
I'll go back. I'll check it out, I'm sure.
It's something I'd like to hop in from time to time, but I don't know if I love the battle pass, and for people who play the game a lot, like that's really cool, but I don't like the way it kind of alienates people who want to play occasionally.
Sure.
Because you're not like, I don't want to feel obligated to grind out those things. Like, and if I get the battle pass, I'm going to do that. So I'd rather probably just spend a couple dollars here and there and get the cool skin that they put out. Like, I don't know. I guess that's.
And you don't play it all single player. You only play.
I do play Fortnite single player. Yeah. I will not play PUBG single player.
Interesting.
I think it's fun, but that's me.
No.
I've seen Adam play it. It was fun
terrible.
to watch. Yeah, no, he's good.
I'm sure if I got in right now, I'd be like,
he's better than me.
I play fine. It's just I don't think it's a fun experience. Right. Like I can maybe I'll get third or second a lot of the time. I'm probably not gonna win, but it's just not fun.
I get it.
Understood. So Destiny's got a few things coming out in the next little while.
A lot of stuff, actually. Yeah, they've really. I haven't played lately, and
it's
I
like we
need
need to get everybody back.
Yeah,
because I don't think I've seen a game other than that comes to mind is like Lawbreakers, where everybody was on it, and then everybody was just like, okay.
Yeah.
So, but I don't even think everybody
Destiny
was really
1. I mean, that
literally the exact
Division,
history repeated
Siege.
itself.
Well, the first Destiny, like people got into it and they're like, whoa.
Yeah.
But then, like the next expansion, they were like, "Okay, we realized we screwed up, so let's."
No,
fix
it wasn't the next. They did They did 3 expansions before people really came back.
Really? Because I thought everybody came back during the.
I think the problem is Destiny's kind of
a
It's old enough that I wasn't paying a ton of attention at the time. It was pre this podcast, so I wasn't paying as much attention to it. But the people I've talked to said that it took a couple of expansions to really get that game back in the game. So.
But my problem is I think Destiny 2 started just fine.
Oh, I loved it.
It started with plenty of content. It started with plenty of everything.
Yeah,
so I'm not sure what.
To me, it didn't have enough content. I ran through the content real fast.
Well, the public events kind of annoyed me because I'm like, oh, it's the same.
And that was the problem.
That's the only thing that I really didn't like.
Once I'd gotten through all the content, it was just grinding and it wasn't much fun.
Yeah.
But I'm just waiting. Like I heard that May is the month for them. Is that I didn't play the last DLC. There's more DLC coming out this month. They've changed, I think, exotics now, where you can actually have you can add stuff. You can customize exotics, I think. So there's a lot of of new stuff coming out. So I'm going to jump
Right.
back eventually. I know Kevin in our Discord's been playing it a lot, so
Yeah,
I need
I
to.
should check it out again. The new expansion is called Warmind. That is coming sometime in May. I can't remember exactly. I want to say like around
Towards
the
the
12th.
middle of May,
Yeah, like the
I
12th.
think. Yeah.
So there's that, which it looks real good. And then the Destiny soundtrack music of the Spheres is finally getting an official release. I didn't realize that this was
So
something
this is
that
kind
was
of a weird thing. So
in some gray area.
So Marty O'Donnell is a composer. He did most of the music for Halo. He did a lot of the music for the first Destiny game, and he created this album essentially called Music of the Spheres, and it was just Destiny music. And the idea was that Destiny was supposed to originally be this huge, massive, sprawling thing, and I think it's like 7 CDs or something crazy of music that he was composing. And then Marty O'Donnell and Bungie, but more Activision, actually, had a falling out where they released a Destiny trailer and they didn't use any of his music, and Activision had other music put in. He got real angry and started posting stuff about it on Twitter angrily, and so they fired him.
Wow.
Over a series of weeks and months.
Yeah.
Essentially he just got really antagonistic, and I think he was a distraction, so they fired him. And so he sued them
Ooh, snap.
and won. But there was always this Music of the Spheres album that was supposed to come out. And I mean, if you like the kind of music that Marty O'Donnell does, that very atmospheric, the guy's, I mean, not only is he an amazing composer, he also did a lot of things for programmatic music and how to have music that lasts kind of forever in an area without being repetitive. The guy's really smart when it comes to that kind of thing. But anyways, he's got this Music of the Spheres that had never really come out, and then right around Christmas time, it got leaked. And I don't know if he leaked it or if someone else did, but when it existed, he's like, I sent out 100 copies to other people.
Right. And I like the quote from his tweet. I don't have the authority to give you permission to share Music of the Spheres. However, no one in the world can prevent you from giving me my blessing. Which is kind of awesome. So
yeah.
it's like, I can't say it's okay to do it, but
Yeah, he
I
says,
think you're pretty cool.
years ago when I was audio director at Bungie, I gave away nearly 100 copies of Music of the Spheres. So, I mean, they were in the wild and eventually just got leaked. And I looked for it, and I'm sure if I looked harder, I could find it, like the Reddit thread that kind of was around it, it got taken down, whatever.
Right.
But I think early this week, late last week, one of the official Bungie community managers actually said, like, no, there's actually an official release coming out. So pretty soon you'll be able to buy this. If you like Destiny music, if you like Marty O'Donnell music, he's still a composer. He just released an album maybe 6 months ago, and he's working on a VR game actually right now, and I can't remember what the name of it is offhand, but I've listened to kind of some of the music for that too, and it's really good.
Cool.
So if you like this, Music of the Sphere is something to look out for. It's great music to like work to or do homework to,
Right,
or
or
'cause
just
it's just that kind of chill
Drown out all the other white
Destiny
noise.
music. Yeah, it's good.
Nice.
It's real exciting.
Well, cool. Look for that. And then finally in news, Atari is crowdfunding their new device now officially, the Atari Box.
Yeah.
It's up for pre-order, but it's still not going to ship anytime soon.
And the Kickstarter starts the end of this month. So today's
Okay.
May 1st for us. You'll be listening to this May 3rd. It's going to kickstart at the end of the month. And I just don't understand why we live in a world where Atari can't just sell this. I think it's probably because they don't live in a world where they can be confident that anyone will buy this.
Seriously. Are you going to buy it?
Hell no.
You say hell no.
No.
You say that now.
It's
I mean, the aesthetic, if it sticks to the actual design that's popping up in these pictures, if it sticks to that, I mean, it might look really cool.
the aesthetic is amazing. One thing I will give them is that the like industrial design of this is great. But they're talking that it's going to be like a mid-range. It's going to be essentially a cheap Steam box. It's going to be like $250 to $300, but nothing will run on it. It's running Linux. So you're gonna pay $250 to $300 to get a bunch of old Atari games, which are fun, granted. But I have a Raspberry Pi for those.
Yeah, but I mean, have you played any old Atari games?
Oh yeah, they're not
they're pixel
optimal.
garbage.
Yeah, I would. It's not. you just pissed off man socks so bad.
I'm sorry, they are.
But
Yeah, it'll be fun, but I mean,
I enjoy every once in a while loading up a Atari or Commodore 64 emulator, or playing old MAME games, whatever. I'm not going to pay $250 or $300 for one, and the fact that
So affordable.
yeah, right.
that seems so expensive.
And I mean, I'm sure Linux-based games that run on Linux will probably run on this, but I guess if Valve tried to make Steam machines happen and couldn't make Steam machines happen, I don't understand why Atari thinks they're going to be able to make Steam machines happen, which is essentially what this is. So,
Well,
I mean, the form factor's cool.
I'll get it when it goes on sale.
Yeah,
Maybe. I mean, what was the last console Atari did? Wasn't it the Jaguar?
Yeah.
Which I thought was just so cool.
I'm not even sure the Atari is still owned by the same Atari, though.
It's from what this article from Polygon is the new Atari VCS is primarily French-owned collection of related media companies.
Yeah.
Or what they're doing. They're now in basically control of that name.
Yeah, I'm going to be very curious if there's probably enough people with nostalgia for these kind of things, and like I said, the design's cool and the idea of it's interesting, that it might make it through crowdfunding. But I'm hesitant to wonder if this will even hit goals crowdfunding. There's I mean, I don't know. I guess the other day, like, they crowdfunded a couch for Elon Musk, so maybe, who knows? Yes, exactly.
What does that even mean?
Exactly what you heard.
He's making a couch?
No, they wanted to buy him a couch. I don't know what the backstory is.
Why does anyone need to buy him anything?
I actually saw a clip of Ellen. The backstory was he was working so much in his office. All he slept on was this couch, and it was, from what I remember, this is just perusing Facebook. She actually sent him. Did she send him a couch too? Something, or no, she started the Kickstarter to get him a couch. That's
like
what it was, because it was
GoFundMe.
like some old ass lazy boy couch that was just beat to hell.
Yeah, but they
It's
raised
just a
a
weird
ton of money for it too. It's like,
Doesn't he have money though?
oh yeah, he has lots of money.
Oh, that's right. She started Kickstarter for her thing. She was commenting on the Kickstarter for his thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a lot of stuff.
It's nerds hero worshiping. So
all right,
Don't buy him a couch.
Right.
Yeah, he can buy his own couch.
right,
Yeah,
he's got a
that's
lot
true.
of money tied up in Tesla and SpaceX
Hyperloop.
and stuff.
But
yeah.
I'm sure he's got a couple $100 for a couch.
He'd get something used
You
off
would think.
Craigslist.
You'd think.
Yeah,
I guarantee it. Guaranteed.
guaranteed.
Guaranteed Elon
I
Musk will buy a couch.
guarantee you, we're done with the news.
All right.
Done with that. History. Up next, we have questions from Joe Coleslaw, Zach Paul, Hans. I like saying that. It's Hans. But first, we
Hans.
start off with.
Hey, yo, Vinny.
There he is. He's back.
He's back.
Every week. Vinny wants to know, what is a game that you would like to see have a prequel? How come?
Oh, sorry, I got distracted. Oh man, I had one. Go ahead. I got to come back to it.
What would you game you would like to have a
don't
prequel?
know.
You don't know?
What do you think, Adam?
I'm probably gonna guess. What? Guess yours or one for me?
I don't just answer the question.
Everything went real sideways.
Man.
Vinny
I'm
threw
playing
everyone
along
off.
since Cliff was like
Yeah,
all flustered.
sorry.
I'm gonna be flustered too.
Okay.
Red Dead Redemption.
Well, huh?
Red Dead Redemption, which I know is technically a sequel to something, but the old one was really old, so I want a
That'd be cool. Like I want to see him when he
modern-
was
Yeah.
when he was the bad guy.
yeah. And like I said, I know that Red Dead Redemption is actually a sequel to Red Dead Revolver.
yeah, but I don't
I've
think
never played Red
I don't think
Revolver.
It's quite the
It's
same.
old. It's like a PS.
It's a great game.
I've never played it. It's got to be a PS2 game at
The
this
PS2
point.
game, Xbox
We're
game.
just going to pretend that doesn't exist. I want a modern Red Dead Redemption Red Dead Redemption sequel.
Yeah,
Prequel.
Sure. You
John
sure?
Marston as a kid. That's what I
Okay.
want. That's what I
have
want.
not see, and I don't know the characters well enough to know who you're talking about.
You've
Well,
played it, right?
I played a little bit of it.
I was kind of thinking that too, but like GTA 5 when they
Oh my
like,
God.
Trevor and Michael before like
His is
their
better.
first time like when they were in the gang
The
the first
ending
time
of that movie.
right, because the game starts at like as that you see that sequence
So
play
the
out.
end of the game before it is the start of GTA 5.
Yeah, or whatever. Like, yeah, however you want to do it. If you want to set
Oh.
it back, or if you want to do that time that's in between, or if you just want to follow.
See, I don't think the time in between is interesting.
Right, but
That's just-
Trevor. Could
That's
be
just Trevor
interesting,
writing sad letters to Brad that's in prison,
Yeah.
and I would play the crap out of that game. That's a
Wow.
better one than mine.
Okay.
Yeah, Red Dead Revolver is not like it's a prequel in this, like it's a game before in the sense, but it's not. I don't think it's related.
It's
to
not
that
story related. I never played
necessarily.
it. Yeah.
I don't see
can't
the
really
name John
think of-
Marston in here.
I can't really think of a game that I want a prequel to. Like, I really can't.
You could do God of War. You could play the in between of God of War 3 and God of War. Find out who this lady is that's dead and
Actually, that would be well. The thing is, I haven't finished this game, so I don't know if any of that's like
is interesting. Yeah.
I don't know. Well, not necessarily interesting,
Yeah,
but just
relevant, or if they talk about it.
yeah. I mean, what would that be, like a walking/life simulator of Kratos walking across Europe to
That'd be
another
crazy.
area and learning a new religion and
I think the thing
finding
is
a wife?
The reality for I think any gamer is the answer to what prequel you want is just whatever game you love the most.
Yeah.
Because you always want more. You always want a prequel. You always want a sequel. You know, so
And that's the thing. Like, I'm pretty sure that the God of War series has a prequel in there somewhere. It's either Ghost
Probably.
of Sparta or Chains of Olympus. One of the PSP games. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
yeah.
I think particularly those redemption stories, though, like where they come back and like, I mean, GTA really isn't that because you're still just a
You're a terrible
person,
human.
but like there's those like
You're a
second
better
chance,
version of yourself.
There's those second chance stories when you come out of
Right.
prison or whatever it is, and
Yeah.
you're turning your life around, or it's a new life, and it's
Yeah.
like, well, how terrible were they before? Like, do you really still like them?
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing that we like these characters, even
Yeah.
though they're just terrible murderers. But
Yeah.
That's true. That's fair. Like maybe a Mega Man prequel.
yeah,
Like a Mega Man prequel with Dr. Wily
yeah.
learning. Wait, he's the bad guy.
He's the bad guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
Doctor. And who created Mega Man?
X?
No.
Is there an X? Professor X in that?
I don't know.
I can't.
Yeah, I can't remember. But maybe like maybe Dr. Wily's descent from brilliant scientist to mad crazy man, something like that.
There's not enough games where you get to play the bad guy in your games. Maybe that's it. Maybe
Yeah.
all our prequels need to be the
Because that's like
how,
that's why
how
I
the bad guy
liked-
became a bad guy.
That's why I like Borderlands the pre-sequel.
Yeah,
Because like what's his name?
I don't know.
Johnny is that his
Sure.
name? Like he's kind of like he's the bad guy in all the other games, but
Yeah.
in this game he's kind of the guy that's helping you along, and he seems like he's trying to do good.
I think it's fun.
So yeah, I'd like to see a game. I'd like to see a Mega Man game where you see Dr. Wily go from from awesome to crazy.
The answer, Vinny, is we want all our games to be prequels.
Dr. Light with
That's what I thought
Dr.
it was Dr.
Wily
Light.
as his assistant
Yeah.
created Mega Man.
Yeah, I know there's a story there. Oh well.
It's good.
Well, there's that, Vinny. Thank you very much. Joe Coleslaw, what's a game that came out ahead of its time, either ahead of available technologies or too far out at the time of its release? One that was used to their advantage and flourished, others tried and faltered. What comes to mind?
Crisis.
Yeah, that game's always like was just like so pretty, but it was a terrible game. Like,
I don't even know if it was a terrible game. I couldn't run it.
yeah, I played it when they did it
Yeah.
on Xbox,
Yeah.
but I remember I remember seeing
Crisis was notoriously that was the game that
the game you can't play.
you
on
could
your-
not play because you did not have a computer fast enough to run it.
Oh,
Yeah, except
So-
it was the most boring game. Like it was not interesting at all.
Yeah.
It was just
It had an amazing engine though.
it just looked good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the CryEngine. I mean, that game came out. I don't even know how many long years ago, and the CryEngine is still a thing. So, it is a thing.
A game for me that comes to mind on that, and even though they were relatively successful and are pretty well remembered critically, I want to say the Parasite Eve games.
Sure.
Like, I feel like they just kind of piggybacked off of Final Fantasy VII in the same almost art style ish, or the same like gameplay style. I would like to see that redone with a bit more fluid controls and a bit
Sure.
more, accessible environments, just because I feel like it was a bit too cluttered with stuff, and I'd like to see it on new tech now where it's a lot more laid out and you've got more room to move around, and the story is just so cool.
Sure.
So the story was there, the gameplay and stuff was kind of wonky for me from what I remember.
To date myself a little bit, when I worked at, right. When I worked at Software Etc., Daggerfall came out, Elder Scrolls Daggerfall, which is the Skyrim, then Obsidian, then Morrowind, and Daggerfall was the game before that.
Wow.
So that was when I worked retail.
Back in 1932.
Right. And I remember that game came out, and I think it required, I don't remember how many like megabytes of RAM, but it was back when we measured megabyte, how much RAM you needed in megabytes.
It's crazy.
I want to say it required 4, but recommended 8. I don't really know, but I know that at the time there was a ton of people, my customers, that really wanted that game. And a lot of them came in and bought it, but then immediately had to go buy more RAM because they just didn't have.
It was just
needed
silly.
that extra 4 megabytes. I remember back in the day buying, I want to say 4 megs of RAM and paying $32 for it, and saying to the guy I bought it from, like, dang, $8 a meg is like, that's the cheapest RAM's ever going to get, right?
Right. Yeah, no, not so much.
I would have to. I'm gonna go with Steel Battalion.
I know that game.
So if you're not familiar with Steel Battalion, it is the game that was on Xbox that came with a mech controller.
Oh, yes.
Like,
yeah.
You had the whole cockpit, and like I don't know. I know this game kind of has like a cult following of it, but it's one of those games that I think like I don't know. It might exist better nowadays. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it was a functional game. It was very, very hard. It is a very hardcore game. And the technology is cool though. I mean, as much as a racing wheel is for a racing game, but I think it was a little more complex. Like it's one of those games where like if you blew up to, I think you had to hit like the abort button to like not like start back at square one completely. My dad's buddy has a almost like new copy of this, so I still have a date with him someday to play it. Like we've still not done it, but
That needs to happen.
it'd be a good experience to go back on that. So.
For the record, Daggerfall required 8 megabytes of RAM, but recommended 16.
Of course it did. Of course it did.
And I remember it ran real bad at 8.
That's crazy.
All right, Joe Colsaw, thank you for that. Zach Paul wants to know, how many Battle Royale modes do you expect to see at E3 this year? I'm going to say 3,472.1.
I think that is
Every game.
Yeah, I think that the answer is every single game that comes out that could even conceivably have a Battle Royale mode is going to have a Battle Royale mode. I mean, I guess it's easy enough right now to like think of the games that do, right?
Sure.
Because we've got PUBG, we've got Fortnite, we've got whatever it is from Cliffy B's studio. I can't remember the name of that game for some reason.
Radical Heights.
Radical Heights. You've got the car Battle Royale in H1Z1.
And H1Z1.
And
H1Z1, which is coming to PlayStation 4.
It is, yeah.
Yes.
Like next week, I think.
It's oddly
GTA.
timed.
GTA has one. So what are we up to? Like 7?
And then the next Call of Duty is going to have one.
Call of Duty's going to have one.
Is there one in the Battlefront games for
No,
the Star Wars
but
Battlefront games? I guarantee you that's going to be one.
Someone's, there's, I would actually maybe play
That would be fun.
a Battlefront. I guarantee you that.
Last Jedi Standing. How cool would that be?
Oh.
The Last Jedi.
That would be
Standing.
pretty dang awesome, actually. Yeah, I would guess that you are going to hear. So if we have 7 now, I would guess that at the end of E3, that number will
How many
at least
publishers
double.
and developers are going to be there?
Exactly.
They're all going to have at least 2.
Yeah, I think that number will at least double. That's the number I'm going to bet. 14. We'll have
say
14
at least,
total.
I'm saying at least 25 to 30.
Dang.
7.
This isn't The Price is Right, Dylan.
No, 7.
7.
You don't think any new ones will come out?
Well,
You think there are-
what will
There
we
are 7
have?
now. Yeah, what do you
Yeah.
think the number we will have after? I said
Like,
14.
That would be 14, but I can't. So 12.
12. All
Okay.
right.
I'm saying
12 is actually a pretty safe guess.
I'm going 25, 30.
25 or 30.
I am.
It's crazy.
Because you just got to think about how many people are going to be
I
there.
like to think that there's going to be a couple smart people out there that be like, don't waste our time, because I think it's an impenetrable market.
And not only do I think it's an impenetrable, well, the problem is like someone like Call of Duty could they
Yeah.
sell so many games.
But that's why I would say like 12. But like,
Yeah.
I'm saying like Call of Duty could do it. I mean, there's a couple big franchises that can do it.
Red Dead
Other than
Redemption
that,
could
it is
do it.
impenetrable.
Battlefront
Like,
could do it. Battlefield could do it.
Mhm.
I would say
there's going to be a couple wild cards that are just
Yeah.
new ideas.
Yeah, that's
But
what
other
I'm
than that,
banking
I don't
on.
think it's a good. I
Madden
don't think it is a
2019.
good strategy, honestly.
No,
No,
it's not.
I think the problem
game.
is 100% the reason why it's a bad strategy is because every single one of them requires you to have at least 100 players.
Right.
Right.
And there's
And
only
if you want more than one lobby, you need to have 200.
I wonder what that actual number is. I wonder
Right.
is it 100 times 100 in order to really have that
Probably.
game really work?
I'd imagine.
I would guess.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot, though.
Oh yeah.
So, thank you, Zach Paul, for that. Hans wants to know, what chain steak is your favorite? Outback, Logan, Texas Roadhouse, Longhorn, etc. I'm an Outback man for life. Aussie cheese fries and a bloomin' onion win.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. Chain steaks, does Ruth's Chris count?
Yeah.
And Fogo de Chao. Fogo de Chao is a Brazilian steakhouse, and it's a chain. And it's amazing.
Is that the one that's like kind of across the street?
No, that's a local
Vijos.
one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've never heard of
They
the one
serve
you're
steak
talking
on
about.
a sword.
Yes, they
A
do.
sword?
They walk
Sword.
around with a big sword. Sword. Dang it. It's like when I say har.
Har.
They walk around with
Sword.
meat on a stick and they slice it off on your plate at your table, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I've been to one in Utah. I don't remember the name
You don't
of
eat the
it is.
delicious meats, though.
I actually have been to a Brazilian steakhouse when I did eat meat.
Oh,
So,
I
so
have-
good.
Not. I've never been.
The cinnamon grilled pineapple.
oh,
That sounds good.
I
they
have been
slice
to
right
a
off.
Brazilian steakhouse twice since I've been a vegetarian and just eaten pineapple and peppers.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
It's-
honestly,
it's
like
pretty-
I would
you get
be
the
fine
big
with
salad
that.
bar and you get the pineapple and
Mm-hmm.
the peppers, and usually there's one other vegetarian thing.
Yeah,
Like,
they've usually got
yeah.
and then they've got like seafoody stuff if you like the seafoods.
It's one of those things that it's not worth it as a vegetarian because they're so very expensive that it's not really worth it
True.
to
Right.
to not get the steak. And does the one here serve chicken hearts?
No, but I would go there. I love stuff like chicken hearts and gizzards and liver. Mm-hmm.
Adam grew up in the South. It's not his
yeah.
fault.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I don't eat that.
A top good. Yeah, so Fogo de Chao is my favorite chain steak place. Look it up if you've never been there. It's really good.
Perfect. Dylan?
I'm not much of a steak eater, so I would probably go with Outback for the bloomin' onion.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair.
Because the bloomin' onion is delicious, and
It's
I love
bloomin'
onions.
delicious.
And
I like that dippy sauce stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I've only been to Outback once and I was not super impressed. I did not get a steak though. I got chicken. It was okay.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I like their chicken. The whatever something chicken.
Yeah,
The
Outback chicken
specific
probably.
chicken. It's really good.
the
Yeah.
cluster cluck.
It was okay. It was okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the same though. Even when I ate meat, I was not a big steak person. There was other meats I liked a lot more.
I noticed the Hans wrote Aussie cheese fries though, and I want to try that. So I want to go to.
It sounds
I want to go to Outback and
There
have
is
that.
one 2 blocks from here.
I know.
So-
I'm gonna go get the Aussie cheese fries.
I'll come with you and get a salad.
Yeah, that'd be great. Let's
Wait,
go
there's
there.
an Outback. How far
It's
from here?
literally across the street,
Like,
basically.
3 blocks down the road.
If you go towards, like, you're getting on
the
I-90
freeway.
West East, over by the Albertsons. Is
Yeah.
it still Albertsons? Yeah.
Wait, the Safeway down there?
no,
Is
the
it Safeway
Albertsons
now?
that way.
Or is it?
It doesn't matter. This is terrible radio.
No, this is not terrible radio because if our listeners, dear listeners, are going to be coming to Seattle sometime soon, they're going to want to know.
where the Outback Steakhouse
Where is the
is.
Outback?
Yeah. Well, if you're at
Is it
T-Mobile
up,
headquarters,
Is it up by the lake? Is it across
Up
the
towards
freeway from
Honda
the...
Bellevue?
Okay,
That
okay,
way.
so that's
up
a
the hill.
Safeway way up there. Used to be an
it
Albertsons.
used to be an
Okay,
Albertsons.
whatever.
Now I say
It's
that's
up
what I was trying
there?
to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
that same
one
parking lot.
right in that building. Like,
Why are we? Why have we not gone there?
okay, so
Let's
tomorrow
go.
I won't be here. Friday we'll go, and we'll get some Aussie steak fry
Oh
or
my
Aussie
God.
cheese fries and a bloomin' onion and a salad.
We can eat all vegetarian at the Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah, right.
It'd be
And they're
awesome.
going to look at us like, do you know where you are?
You all are weird. Yeah, it'll be
Yes, because
great.
that's how they talk in Australia. Y'all
Y'all
weird.
are weird. I want to go to Outback Steakhouse where every single employee is forced to talk in a fake Australian accent the
G'day,
entire
mate.
time.
Well, it's one of them themey restaurants, huh?
So
Right.
I don't have a favorite steakhouse because I don't eat steak.
Yeah.
But I will tell you a story.
Oh.
So
Much better
I'm
anyway.
gonna say I don't know.
Still meaty.
15 years ago, I went to Texas Roadhouse because my grandparents, for some reason, were super into Texas Roadhouse, and so my grandparents came out to visit. We'd go there, and it was great, peanuts on the floor, and those delicious bread scony things that they bring out. They're real good. And so I'm like looking through the menu, thinking like, I'll just get a salad. I'll get a whatever. And there's literally a thing on the meal that's like vegetarian meal, and it was choose of all of our side dishes, choose 4 of them. And I'm like, okay, all their salads have meat on them, so whatever. And like salads are great, but as a vegetarian, you get kind of sick of salads because
Couldn't
oftentimes
imagine.
it's
It is the vegetarian.
yeah, it's like the thing. If you're going anywhere, like, hey, we have a salad, like just to ask for the chicken, whatever. And so I'm like, oh, I'll try the side dishes. And so they bring us out these side dishes, and it's on its own plate, and then each side dish is in its own little container that, first of all, were impossible to like get a fork into. They weren't bendy enough to actually like get food out of. And I'm like, it was just very much this like, hey, you weird person that doesn't eat meat,
Right.
here's your weird food. I'm like,
Everybody's gonna watch you.
okay, this is great. I'm just gonna eat, I guess, this bad rice and a bunch of these rolls. And like, so my grandparents usually came out for a week or two. And, they'd been here about another week. They're like, dude, we should totally go back to that Texas Roadhouse. They had a meal especially for Cliff. Wasn't that nice?
Wow,
It was super special. We got to go twice.
that's so great. Well, thank you for that.
Anyway, it was all right.
Yeah, I've been there before, and none of these restaurants are in any way bad.
No.
They're just not really
Unless you don't eat
great.
meat, in which case they're not optimal.
right. All right, there's that.
It's
Kidding,
done.
talk.
It's done.
Y'all.
Okay, let's wrap this up because we have got a chunk of free cheap
Dang.
games to go over. Up first, Humble has a new bundle. It's the Humble CryEngine bundle. We were just talking
Yeah,
about
we were just
this.
talking about CryEngine. So
So there's a whole lot in there.
a ton
lot.
of games. The $1 section. So for $1, you can get Rolling Sun, Aporia, The Land of Pain, the CryEngine 5 samples, which is probably not interesting.
Yeah, and you can get the CryEngine webinar training videos, three of them.
And the CryEngine animation pack. So I think this is kind of, if you want to make a game using CryEngine,
You could do it for
you
$1.
could do it for $1.
I'm down.
But then
Sure.
right now the average is $8.09. It'll go up and down depending on how many people buy it. You can get Miscreated, which is early access, Snow, the Pro Pack DLC, Sniper Ghost Warrior 2. I have not played Sniper, but I've not played 2, but I've played a little bit. No, actually I played the zombie game based off that. So
Oh yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce this. Uyeb.
Sure.
Uayeb.
Oh yeah.
Rise, Son of Rome, which is supposed to be very good, and
And a
the
couple other
underwater
acid-
demo level.
Yeah, a couple of other asset packs for
Oh, and I'm
CryEngine.
sorry, actually, the Robinson the Journey asset pack and the Rise Egypt asset pack. So
Interesting.
if you want to get into the CryEngine, which is also very similar to Amazon Lumberyard, if you're into
I've
that.
never
So,
done it because I don't do the game developments.
And then for $15, you can get Sniper, Ghost Warrior 3, Homefront the Revolution, which is supposed to be very
Supposed to
good.
be really good.
And then
I
the
think I've already got
Deceit
that.
asset pack and the Climb asset pack. So
Yeah.
there's not only is there a bunch of good games you can get in there for $15, but if you are interested in game development, there's some real good stuff in there.
Yeah,
so
for pretty cheap.
$15
Over on the EA Origin Access, which is not the same as
is not the same as EA Access. So
Yeah.
EA Origin Access is the PC
PC.
version. EA Access is the Xbox version.
but I've already got 2 of these 3.
Yeah.
So we have got Mad Max, Pillars of Eternity, and Torment Tides of Numenera.
Yeah.
I
So
said that and I didn't stutter.
that's some good free stuff if you're paying the $5. Oh, apparently, actually, you also can get Prison Architect.
Yep.
And
A Brother Tale of Two Sons.
oh, that game's super fun. That was
I heard-
an
I keep
Xbox
seeing
game.
that.
They, actually, the people who made A Way Out, I believe,
Yeah.
made that. But they also added all the Arkham games and The Witness last month, I think. So
cool.
Yeah, I think it's $5 a month. It's a great deal.
Yeah, you also get Virginia. It's a first-person narrative game inspired by Twin Peaks.
I've heard great things about Virginia.
Ember, another isometric RPG. Spore, if you remember that one. And then the 3 we mentioned as we started that.
Good stuff. Yeah.
So that's not bad. And that's the same price as the EA Access.
I'm pretty sure
$30
you
a
can
year.
do the $30 a year thing with that too. You didn't used to be able to. It's a good deal.
If you have Amazon Prime, that means you have got Twitch Prime, which means you get this month Psychonauts, Cluster Truck, Gone Home, which is awesome, Titan Souls, High Hell, and I Hope.
Cluster Truck is so much
Cluster
fun.
Truck's so fun.
And Psychonauts is like the most classic of classic games. So
yeah,
it's
that'll
good
be fun.
stuff.
And I Hope, actually, I read the synopsis on that. That's a pretty
It's a game about a kid with cancer. So
Yeah.
if that's your jam, it's supposed to be uplifting, but I think I'm going to skip it.
Well, I don't know.
Oof.
I like my story-driven narratives lately.
Oof.
Can't
Yeah,
help
but
it.
cancer's rough. Play that Dragon Cancer first. You'll
Oh, see, I hear that one's not uplifting.
real sad.
Yeah.
Guess what? The kid died
Right?
in real life
Oh,
too.
man, now spoilers.
It's
No,
too
you should
much.
know that going into
I
that
don't.
game.
It's too much.
If you have a PlayStation and you play online with people, that means you have PS Plus because you need to have PS Plus to do that.
Good call.
This month, Beyond Two Souls is coming to the PS4. King Oddball is going to be on your PS4, PS3, and Vita. Rayman Legends, awesome
Get
game.
that game.
Get that game.
So
Get
good.
That game. That's on your PS4.
You know, we actually were talking to one of our coworkers the other day. That is a great game to play if you have a kid. Probably 8, 9, 10. It is so fun. I played through all of Legends and all of Origins with my son, and it's super fun.
Great little intro to
Yeah.
platforming.
Yep.
Eat Them if you have a PS3. Meh.
Eat 'em up.
Also on the PS3, Risen 3, Titan Lords. And on the Vita, Furmins. Okay.
Good stuff.
All right. And
Those are available now.
those are
They came out
they're
as
available
of today. So by the time you hear this, they will also be available.
Day.
We went over the Xbox games with gold last week. So this week, though, coming to Games Pass this month or already there. State of Decay 2 comes May 22nd.
So brand new game releasing on the
first-party
Game
release.
Pass.
Yeah, and evidently, I read an article somewhere earlier today. It might not be as great a game as we're all expecting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, because I heard
It's good, but it might be suffering from a lot of the same problems as the first game, which was just
interesting.
like
IGN did a huge
where do you
IGN
go? What do
first
you
on
do?
that like 2 months ago, and it sounds amazing. Like they had nothing but great things to say about
yeah.
it. So
I'm curious to see.
yeah, same. And with Game Pass, it can cost you $10 instead of
Exactly.
35, 30.
35 or 40,
Yeah.
something like that. Laser League is coming May 10th.
Another
No idea.
first-party game being
Okay.
released straight on the Game Pass.
Pro Evolution Soccer 2018.
Soccer is awesome, and Pro Evolution Soccer is not as good as FIFA, but it's free.
All right.
This is actually an interesting one too because it's coming out May 1st and it's going away like August 31st. They've already announced the time it will be
that's
available,
cool.
so it's pretty much all summer.
Overcooked.
Adam's dumb, and that game is awesome.
I didn't say it wasn't awesome. I just said I hate that game. Big difference. I can
Super-
think a game is awesome, but hate it.
Super fun couch co-op. It's perfect for the Xbox to play with friends.
It's perfect if you want to get into a fight with your significant other.
Don't play it with Adam's significant other, and you're good
No,
to go.
don't play it with me. Don't play it with me.
Oh, so it's fine for me to play with Kevin.
Yeah,
It's just not good to play with you. Okay,
I'm not.
that's fair.
Yeah, don't play it with me because I'm terrible. And
I have
scream.
played couch co-op games with Adam, and he gets frustrated very easily.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not his fault.
I'm terrible. No, it is my fault. That's the thing. The Escapists, Homefront, The Revolution. We were just talking about that in the Humble Bundle.
Yep, The Escapist is awesome too.
Unmechanical, Extended,
I don't know.
and Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah.
Is that a forgotten Sonic game? I don't remember that.
I don't know.
Excuse me.
The
I don't
Escapist is
recall.
awesome. It's you play a prisoner trying to escape from prison. It is very, very, very
What
good.
a very original name.
Yeah, it's super fun though. I've played both the first one and the second one. They're both good.
Fun. So there's all your cheap free games. No small bites to talk about this week. Nobody in the troll corner.
We should try and get Vicky in next week to talk about the Harry Potter mobile game because she's playing a ton of it.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything else?
I don't think so.
Delan?
I got nothing.
We're gonna call him Delan from now on.
Delan.
I like it.
Do it.
Okay.
I've been called much worse.
I'm thinking about calling you much worse.
Yeah.
That's
All right,
nice.
so that's that. Thank you guys for watching on Twitch. If you want to watch us every week, we always announce on the Book of Face or the Twitters when we're going live. So just follow us there and like our page, and you'll see exactly when that happens. And we also post fun stuff and questions and talks, and you can join our Bite Me group.
That's good.
On Facebook. Find us everywhere online at Bite Me Podcast, at BYTE Me POD Cast. And find us bitemepodcast.com/humble for all the Humble Bundle stuff. Like us, rate us, review us. We'll send you stuff, talk about you. You can talk about us, whatever.
We love you.
Yeah.
Bite me.
Which is what we say to people we love.
Aw.
Aww.
Bye, people. You okay?